Alright, so I'm gonna get weirdly real with everyone right now. These last couple months of my life have been a little bit hard. I've been struggling with maybe like the worst seasonal depression of my entire life. So they say when you're having problems like this, like as an artist, it's good to give yourself a prompt just to kind of get things rolling, you know, until the inspiration comes to you. Thus, the end of the year top 10 list. We get to talk about the things that made us happy over the last year, and hopefully, by osmosis, we become happy as well. Crossing my fingers. Thing is, I've decided to mix it up a little bit and do something maybe a bit different just to celebrate the fact that we are done with another exhausting year. Hooray! We're going to talk not about the best or worst of the year, because who's to say, really? But we are going to talk about the holy shit movies of the year. Hooray! Now, what is a holy shit movie, you might be asking yourself? Well, a holy shit movie is a movie that defies all probability of existing in our world. Like, the fact that it exists is amazing. Point blank. Like, if it's amazingly good, amazingly bad, amazingly whatever, it doesn't matter. We don't have to put labels on it. The point is, it's a holy shit movie. Whoa! The point is, these movies are amazing, like, regardless of quality. And now, we're going to delve into all those amazing things that 2017 gave us right now. Get ready to feel the ultimate confusion and satisfaction of a year of strange. Let the ritual begin.
There are no more patriots, just rebels and tyrants.
So which are you?
I'm Triple X.
Action movies that are taken to the like most ridiculous possible place are kind of like rare nowadays, especially if they have a sizable budget. Given that Fate of the Furious, which has a scene where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson throws a missile, is not on this list, I think says an awful lot about Triple X3.
Triple X3 is a movie that starts off with a scene where Samuel L. Jackson's character is killed by a satellite crashing into him, followed by Xander Cage literally skateboarding down a mountain. And let me tell you what, that's just how it starts. This movie is a wild ride. This movie doesn't give a shit about reality. It bends reality. It makes it up as it goes along. It throws out everything remotely real, which in a big way is why we like to watch action movies as it stands. It removes us so firmly from our day-to-day issues that it's like brain candy, but instead of candy in this case, it's kind of like, well, it's like cocaine. This movie will make you feel like you've lost every single bit of your goddamn mind. Also, it boasts this amazing cast of like the always great Vin Diesel. I just thought about how his last name is a kind of gasoline. Tony Jaa, Ruby Rose, and Donnie Yen. And before you ask, yes, Ice Cube does make an appearance, and this movie is amazing.
Let me simplify it for you. Kick some ass, get the girl, and try to look dope while you're doing it.
Himself the Snowman killer. He's completely insane.
So there's a moment in The Snowman, like a minor beat in the grand scheme of the entire thing, but it's indicative of everything wonderful about just how unbelievably absurd the movie is.
There's a shot of a snowman, just, you know, your regular ass, normal, happy snowman. Nothing wrong here. But then we go around the back of the snowman, and holy shit, don't you know it, someone made a creepy ass sad snowman on the back of it. That's amazing. That was something that was shot when over 20% of the actual story of the movie wasn't shot. The amazing thing about this movie is everything. There are elements about it that kind of work or would work in a better movie, but it is bookended by almost constant nonsense in performance, text, texture, and imagery, from Michael Fassbender playing here Harry Hole, walking around staring at people for most of the movie, to Val Kilmer's somewhat unnecessary character being shot and edited in a way to hide the fact that he can't speak because he's unfortunately recovering from cancer. So they dubbed him with this weird voice that doesn't work at all, and they tried to hide it with the editing and the shooting style. Oh my god, I totally forgot that the killer has a signature song he plays, and it's Popcorn. You know, Popcorn. Every choice is a strange one, and it's amazing. The Snowman is an incoherent mess of a movie that I will cherish forever.
So, somewhat of a weird thing that's kind of been going on culturally is our nostalgia for the grindhouse subgenre of horror and action movies. Like, for some reason, we just crave that exploitation-y goodness these days. I don't know what it is, but let me introduce you to a movie that delivers on all of that, but isn't so much concerned with the aesthetic. Like, it's definitely its own thing, but it embodies a certain kind of thing.
Brawl in Cell Block 99 is the second film from author-turned-filmmaker S. Craig Zahler. His previous film, Bone Tomahawk, had a certain attitude that a lot of movies don't really have. It's graphically violent, has a true emotional heart to it, and finds a way to be shocking every time you see it, and features such a pure Western ego that a lot of modern Westerns just can't capture because the world has changed around the genre so much. But S. Craig Zahler doesn't care about that. He made a pure Western, and it's amazing. Check it out. Brawl in Cell Block 99 is the same kind of deal, a modern Western with a working class attitude. The film follows Vince Vaughn, who is perfectly cast as a guy who just wants to do right by his family and live the American dream he's been promised. But upon ending up in prison pursuing it, he's given an ultimatum that requires him to kill just a whole lot of people in really gruesome ways. The film is all about sacrifice and how we exist in a system that requires sacrifice, and those that succeed have to do so by dismissing their own principles, which is kind of messed up and kind of, you know, ugly, and like the movie is. The movie's great, and there's one moment where a guy's face gets ripped off, and this movie is holy shit amazing.
I'm not going to tell you anything you want to hear, and prison will give me plenty of time to look at guys I don't like.
This may very well be the most sensitive asset ever to be housed in this facility.
You may think that thing looks human. Stands on two legs, right? But we're created in the Lord's image. You don't think that's what the Lord looks like, do you?
I don't think it's controversial to say that I love Guillermo del Toro. I think everyone does, maybe? But in recent years, he's been doing sort of like strange stuff, like he did Pacific Rim, that giant monster movie, and there's also that, you know, gothic horror romance thing, Crimson Peak, which is, well, I think it's interesting, but holy shit, did his return to his more dramatic roots like really show how much he's grown as a filmmaker into this like really bold filmmaker with an enormous heart.
The Shape of Water is a beautiful movie about untraditional yet perfectly healthy love between a woman who can't speak and the creature from the Black Lagoon. It's a reversal of the original Universal film in that the hero of that movie is the hateful asshole villain of this movie. It's a very sex-positive, normalizing film about understanding one another's experience in the world and having a healthy awareness of each other's needs. It's a love story not guided by an internal need for one another as much as a story about the fantastic ways that two people can come together to form something good for one another. I love this movie with all my heart, and holy shit, it's a big budget movie about a woman that falls in love with a fish man. And it's healthier than 99% of on-screen romances we see. And God, go see it so many times.
If I told you about her, what would I say? I wonder.
You hear that?
What?
Nothing. No birds. No animals. Nothing.
Well, looky there, another romance. Seriously though, that scene where Michael Fassbender teaches other Michael Fassbender the flute, like, is like the hottest scene put to film this year. And I watched a lady bang a fish. Okay, so weird confession time, but I love Ridley Scott. Like, even when his movies don't really connect culturally, I don't know what it is. I eat them up like they're candy. I just think they're so endlessly interesting. And therefore, I love Alien Covenant. There, I said it. I've been debating doing a video about this movie and just like why I love it so damn much, and like all my conversations with all my friends always devolve into me talking about how much I love Alien Covenant, and man, I'm just insufferable to be around. But because everyone in the world hates it and just wants to shit on it endlessly without ever really totally understanding it, let's briefly get into it.
Okay, so it's clear that Ridley Scott is doing this whole movie about the existence or non-existence of God, and how often that question just leads to more questions. Like, Prometheus is a movie where they search for God, find them, and we end the movie asking, well, who created them? And the lead character goes out to find them. Thus, it's an endless cycle of never finding the true answers of creation because you always run into the same problem. So in Alien Covenant, David rejects his own God's desire to actually, like, find God and decides to be the God of his own creation, and in doing so, the movie clearly argues that if God does exist, he's evil. Like, he genocides a whole bunch of humans in order to make room for his own new species of things, much like humanity's God created us at the expense of animals and plants and Earth. And this can easily parallel to our fears that artificial intelligence may replace humanity, which is a theme we find in Alien, but also, well, Blade Runner. So yeah, the movie is not so much about the alien as much as it's about what the alien represents. The perfect specimen here to replace humans because another much scarier god has chosen it so. And you know, if that ain't your cup of tea because you wanted to see a spooky space movie where an alien goes around eating people, hey, I get it. But as for my love of Ridley Scott and what his brain is on today, this is an absolutely captivating look into how he thinks about things now. I will be the only one to say this, but I love Alien Covenant.
Hold on! Holy.
And speaking of Ridley Scott,
every civilization was built off the back of a disposable workforce. But I can only make so many. Happy birthday.
I feel obligated to say out loud that 2017 gave us a Blade Runner sequel starring Ryan Gosling as a robot, directed by Denis Villeneuve, and shot by Roger Deakins. Wowza! I mean, the talent alone in that sentence is overwhelming. And the movie is too.
The original Blade Runner has this reputation as being a film more concerned with texture than narrative, and I both see that criticism, and I think that it's untrue, figure that one out. It's almost like movies are complicated and we think about them differently every time we watch them, Becky. But Blade Runner 2049 makes both equally important. Doing both what makes the original so present in its time and repurposing the story to say something truly remarkable about our current technological fears and desires. It also pushes forward a lot of the original ideas about what it is to be more human than human, which was largely the driving question of the original film. And in the world of more human than human, what kind of society is formed? How do gender relations work between things that have a mechanically assigned gender? And how startlingly similar is that to our actual human condition? Did we deserve this movie? No, but we got it anyway, and it's something very special. I look forward to watching it on repeat very soon.
The story isn't over yet. There's still a page left.
She redid all of it. Every last detail. And she breathed life back into every room.
Are you happy?
I love you.
Okay, so another confession. I wrote an entire video for this movie, but I decided not to publish it because I felt like I wasn't being very fair. I think Mother is ultimately one of the weirder movies to come out this year, like, for a lot of reasons. It's a movie where if you go in, like, completely blind, it's super affecting and vile and disgusting and horrible and awful, but amazingly so. It succeeds with flying colors if the movie's like a commentary on how like fame and narcissism often, you know, cause a lot of problems, not necessarily for us, but for our loved ones. And we like rationalize it by saying that we always have to do it and all this. Anyway, it's not about that, is it?
But that's not actually what the movie's about, and everyone who knows the truth of the thing has a much harder time talking about it than those of us who went in blind. Darren Aronofsky talked about this movie to death and directly stated its biblical allusions and made the point of the film crystal clear. It's all about the pain of creation, falling on Mother Nature's shoulders as we ultimately lose control and start mistreating our planet. Not bad, but the whole thing is so swarmed with obvious biblical allusions that it can cause serious eye rolling if you're not careful. So in one way, it's a great piece of art that is really vile and in your face about its messaging, but it's also kinda on the nose and exploitation-y in how it goes about it, so it's hard to capture exactly what the movie is. But it is undeniably one of the boldest pieces of filmmaking this year, and if you can stomach it, I think you should see it, if at least for the conversation you'll have afterward, because holy shit, you'll be talking about this movie for the rest of your life and never get the answers you're looking for. But it's never about the answers, it's always the search and asking the right questions. You get it.
It's just never enough.
What the hell wrong with you? I hit the brakes. Look. I got this. Y'all sit there and hush. Madea! Oh, hell no.
It wouldn't be another end of the year list that I made if it wasn't for the weird Madea inclusion. I very nearly made a video about this movie, but it was right after my long-winded analysis of Tyler Perry movies came out, and I was like, do I have anything to say about this? No. It turns out I did not. But anyways, this movie is kind of what you would expect if you've been following Tyler Perry's career for any, extended period of time, like I have. But it is a holy shit movie. Oh boy.
It's a movie where Madea and other old people get attacked by ghosts and monsters and stuff, except not really. It's the exact same movie as the first one, while also having some amazing gems in it, like this one moment where Madea confronts actual death, and death slashes their tires. Then in the following scene, their tire's fine. It's all okay. They just forgot. It's equally morally confused as the first film, but doesn't much care to make its message quite as blunt, which I think is kind of a shame. Most of the scenes feel like just endless improv as if the entire movie was improvised. However, there is one character played by Tito Ortiz that is amazing, and I hope we see him in a lot more Madea stuff. He has this 1,000-yard stare in the background of all the shots as if his brain went to space, and throughout the movie I kind of gave up on paying attention to the endlessly improvised dialogue that doesn't move the story forward and started watching him in the background just stare at people, and I couldn't stop laughing. It's this kind of dismissive film in both form and thematics that makes me want to see everything Tyler Perry puts out, but this was admittedly a minor detour, but he's got that femme fatale thing coming out soon, so you bet your ass I'll be seeing that.
Surprise!
Tyler Perry's Boo 2, a Madea Halloween.
So how long has this been going on, this thing? We hired Georgina and Walter to help care for my parents. When they died, I couldn't bear to let them go.
In hindsight over the year, I think this was kind of the perfect time for a social horror movie to come out that really kind of informs the way we're talking about race relations and also just the importance of genre filmmaking. If anything, Get Out proves that genre pop culture entertainment is still the most accessible way to make an artistic statement, like, and give it out to a lot of people in the modern times.
I haven't been to a movie this year that really captures the aura of being in the theater for Get Out. Hardly a movie has come out that was so on the pulse of what we were thinking at that very moment, as well as making that a really entertaining endeavor. Get Out has reinforced the concept of media literacy as well. It's encouraged the general public to ask the right questions of our art and aim to get something larger out of it. As a genre film, it's one of the best in recent memory. It's so much fun, and it goes all the way, and it gets so anxious and scary, but as a societal horror film, it is everything. It conveys itself so well, and I love that I've seen so much analysis material on this film. People are really thinking about their genre films this year, and that can't not make me happy. And if for whatever reason you haven't seen Get Out yet, what are you doing? Go see it!
No, 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 no.
A bomb is a terrible thing to waste.
After Jerry died, the cops wouldn't stop harassing me. They couldn't prove anything. They actually thought that I killed him. Anyways, San Francisco got to be a really bad trip after you left. And that's when I remembered you had that extra apartment.
First off, just holy shit, the Love Witch. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Talking purely aesthetics, this movie kills. Every scene of this movie, every shot of this movie oozes a type of aesthetic that is rarely seen in cinema anymore. Production design that feels both lived in and totally hyper real. A shooting style that lends itself directly to the art, but also to the functionality and emotional impact. And that performance by Samantha Robinson is something altogether unreal. In the confines of our modern cinema's obsession with a type of realism that doesn't allow for this kind of intense psychological development, if you know what I mean? Like, Anna Biller has recaptured an old Hollywood aesthetic and used it as an artifice to really navigate our contemporary landscape. There is an artistry to Elaine's character, where much of her private moments in the film break this type of cinematic distance we commonly see to get into who the character really is and how she actually feels about herself, her presentation, and the presentation of the world. It's amazing, and I truly hope you all watch it and give it a whole lot of consideration, as it is not what many people have said about it, that it's like an exploitation film or whatever. It's not. It's so much more than that. Give it some thought, watch it a couple times. The Love Witch is beautiful and spellbinding and oh, so meaningful.
Burn the witch! Burn the witch! Burn the witch! Burn the witch!
I would do anything for love.
And there we are, my top 10 holy shit movies of the year. Man, there were so many more that I didn't include. Oh my god, I could totally make a part 2 to this video. Comment section, what do you think? Obviously there are others that I didn't get to, like Valerian was really weird, and oh, and Raw. God, Raw was really good. And oh my god, Geostorm. Ah, I never talked about Geostorm, did I? Oh no. Oh my god, that's the movie where, oh my god, it has the most amazing scene where Gerard Butler's in the spacesuit and he like gets launched out into space and he like smashes into a space station, completely destroying it. Oh my god. I totally forgot that happened until right now. Look at me, I'm feeling better already. Until I, you know, go to bed and the existential horror comes back. Okay, go forth, children. Watch some movies and have a good time. And bring your friends and be social and don't be depressed or don't be dysphoric about your gender. Be happy. Be happy with the movies. And hey, if there's something that maybe like you think would be cool if I checked out, that's what the comment section's for. And I do read it, so jump in there and be like, hey, you should check out Kuzo, says literally everyone. Alternatively, you could tell me what videos you want to see from me in 2018. Oh yeah, it's a new year. New possibilities. Wow. The ritual is complete.
Hey there, everybody. So I just wanted to hop in here at the end and say thanks to all my supporters over at Patreon. Oh my god, this year has been huge for the channel. It's been huge for me. I've changed a lot. My content's changed a lot. I feel like I am leaving this year a stronger person than I ever was before. And I think 2018 is going to be a really big, great year for me, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm already starting it off with a couple big things, so putting that together and overcoming a lot of the negative things that happened at the end of last year. But I do want to just say thanks to Patreon supporters, because without you guys, none of this would have happened. I would not have been able to afford to do any of the things that I'm currently doing, and I definitely wouldn't be able to afford the things that I'm going to be doing, which are even bigger and huge, and I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you, and there are so many of you now. There's like 356 at the time of me recording this, and I'm almost to my next goal, which is my biggest goal, and then I have to come up with new goals. And if you guys have goals that you think I should try to achieve, I would love to hear them. Because yeah, I might hit my goal, my next goal. It's just crazy to me. But anyway, so next video is gonna be on Twin Peaks, the return. We're working on it now. Isn't that awesome? Also, after that, I'm thinking I might do a video on the new It movie, like a real long-winded analysis on It. Also, I'm working on music. I've got a lot of music that I've been putting out lately, and you can check that out in the link in the description. I've got more that I think I'm going to try and put some music out in March, so keep an eye out for that. But anyway, just wanted to say thanks one more time to patrons. You guys are amazing, and you guys have been the best, and I love you. And I will see you in 2018 with some big stuff. So, thanks again. Really, I couldn't have done any of this without you. Thank you.